There we go.
We count down. We count down.
Official.
On IG. Going live on IG. Oh, wait. I got to wait for it to come up first, and then I could go live on IG. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Hey, there we
All
are.
right. We live everywhere. Let me make that big. Boom. All right, y'all. We live. It is Monday. What is this? February 3rd. Damn. It's already at the first month of 2025, man. That's crazy. I heard someone say that January was the longest year so far.
Yep. Right.
February is the month of love.
It is the month.
Nice and short.
Yeah, man. And yeah, man. I'm gonna have some love, extra love bombs I'm gonna have to make for this month because I'm being sent to a convention. Actually, I gotta tell y'all, and Corey, I'm going to a convention this weekend, and the next weekend after that, I gotta go see my grandbaby. So I got some making up to do this month.
Dang, you got grandbabies. Boy.
Yeah, man. I got one on the way. Got
That's
it on
crazy.
the way. Yeah,
time flies, boy.
It flies, man. It flies.
Casper, what does your shirt say? I keep trying to read it.
Oh, Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, okay.
90s baby to the heart. Yeah. Speaking of 90s babies, to all my 90s babies out there, 80s babies, 70s babies, and whatever decade you was born in, welcome to another episode of Technically Speaking, where we are giving you news
that you can use.
Hey, that's my DJ impression right there. Hey.
Look, he's impressed. He's impressed.
Hey, that's what's up. Hey, I found me somebody gonna take my spot. That's what up, man. I'm gonna start hiring you.
Man. So we back. We are missing the face, y'all. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Same old show. It's just, our third co-host had to take the night off. He has some business to attend to, but we still have your co-host, Miss Bobby Lopez. How you doing tonight, ma'am?
Good, sir. Fantastic.
Oh yeah. And then I'm your co-host, Geronimo. And then we got a special guest tonight. This handsome young man you see right here. He's a retired airman, Air Force veteran. For those that don't know, he is an entrepreneur, and he's the best DJ I know worldwide. So Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, help me welcome DJ Casper.
Stop lying.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, DJ Casper.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. We were talking offline. So tonight, for those that are not used to this, we don't do this all the time, but it's gonna be a very heavy veteran show tonight. A lot of veteran love because everyone here is veteran. We got Army and Air Force, so it's going down. So Casper, starting off with you, man. We're gonna jump right to it, man. So you are Air Force veteran, man. And what I like to ask all of our fellow vets is, what made you join the Air Force?
Man, I got in trouble.
At least you're honest.
So I'm just go right at it, man. So it's there's this organization called Check Systems. So they're like the subgroup of IRS. So just hung out with the wrong crowd, man. We were out there just pretty much just stealing everything. So so that part of LA, it was just we was downtown grabbing all kinds of paychecks, putting all in one account. At the time, man, you know how you get paid. You get paid and get sent to your mailbox. So
the mailbox money.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So we call that boxing. So yeah. So I got greedy, put it on my account. They tracked me down and boom, there you go. Either 4 years of that, 4 years of jail, or you can pay it off. So once I got to the Air Force in '98, that's when I started paying off the check systems.
Okay.
So I wasn't getting paid for the first 3 years of my career, man.
Oh.
So yeah, so I had to pay all that back. Yeah, because I was making a lot of money. That's a lot of money back then, man. So sometimes we'll make 5 G's a week. I had an apartment downtown LA, and we would do the club scene, and pretty much just split it all up with all our groups. So some of our guys went to the Navy, some other guys went to the Marines. But yeah, we're all split up. I think they saw my size, like, oh yeah, you going to the Air Force.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did they let you choose your branch?
No, the DA selected all of that.
Yeah. Oh dang.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the whole time in basic, man, I was I was pretty much signing waivers, and you know, I get to do some marching, but most of the time I was in there just making sure that, hey, I'm not allowed to do this. I do accept the stuff that is going to come out of my check, all of that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Damn.
You paid your dues. You took
Yeah,
accountability.
yeah.
Oh
did.
yeah, 4 years after I went home, talked to the judge, like, hey, look, I'm clean, I'm re-enlisting, and he was like,
Mhm.
what? Okay, yeah,
Nice.
re-enlisting, got a clean record. I started saving a little money. Yeah,
proud
started
of
going
you.
to school. Yep. Yeah,
That's what's up, man. Hey, you know,
yeah,
I'm listening to that, right? And when I first came in, I met a guy that did a program like that. He was in the Army. When I first came in, I came in electrician. My tech school was at Wichita Falls, Texas, at Shepherd. I was at the mini BX having a sandwich from Subway, and got to talking to this cat. He looked like an older gentleman, older than the rest of us young, dudes that just
yeah,
came out of high school and stuff. And we got to talking, and he told me a similar story.
yeah.
Got into
Quarter.
some trouble, and he was saying that his options was he either had to do time or they said he can enlist in the Army, and he chose
Yeah.
the Army. So yeah, man, and this was 99. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I think we're the last round of the court order system, because
I
I
was
think they
wondering,
stopped
I'm
it
like,
in 2000.
I was gonna say, do they still do that? Because I'm pretty sure
Oh
we're an all
no,
volunteer force. I don't
yeah,
remember
I
that
was
too
about
well.
to
no,
ask that too. I wonder with the
'Cause I came
recruitment.
in 2007.
yeah, they stopped all that in 2000. I
That
think we were the last group.
we were in the middle of a war, so I think they wanted people who wanted to be there. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Somebody who
I'm
can actually fight.
Sign
that
me
makes,
up. I might die, but sign me up.
that
That
makes
was me.
sense.
Yeah.
Dang. I wonder what you think. Will all the recruitment and retention issues the military been having, y'all think they will bring that back?
Man, who knows? Because the numbers are really low right now.
Yeah.
My last job was over here at Clothing Issue, man. When you first got your ABUs and BDUs,
Yeah.
so I stopped by there the other day, and just the numbers are really low. So they're trying to keep them. They're trying to keep them by changing all these regulations and stuff like that. But it's tough
Ooh,
to say. It's
yeah.
tough to say. So hopefully we get some new incentives, not just bonuses. Anything that help these kids out to stay
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Things have changed too because back in 2007, like it was honorable to serve your country, but now they're like, I think because social media and stuff and doing podcasts and YouTubing,
Yeah,
that looks more sensational to the younger generation. They're like, oh, why
correct.
would I go doing that when I could sit at home in my basement and make a jazzy looking video and get, you know what I mean, and get like
Right.
paid and monetized or stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They don't see the value
They don't.
um in serving and in being selfless and giving up because you give up a lot, right, to be into the military, which you never know until you get there. You're like, wait, I can't do this or this or this. What can I do?
Exactly.
But it
Yeah.
humbles
Yeah.
you. It humbles you if you allow it, and knocks you down a couple of notches, which isn't a bad thing. But it's different in the Air Force than in the Army, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Our missions are different. We were talking about this today. We were talking about this with two airmen. I'm sitting there next to them, and we were all, complaining about our sleep apnea. They both got a VA, just they both got a disability rating for theirs, but not me. And I'm like, wait a second, how many Humvee hoods have y'all slept on or inside of LMTV trucks overnight? Because you did lots of Op 4 missions. Did y'all do stuff like that? They're like, hell no. The only thing I slept in was in a plane or a hotel, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I know a lot. I know some.
I've slept in terrible places.
Yeah, I know. Actually, a lot of people that I know don't even have disability, and the people lost their leg.
Mm,
All kinds of deformities. They just
that's
didn't want to
terrible.
claim. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody's choice. You know what I'm saying? To each his own.
I've seen
Good
older
point.
generations they're very prideful. They're like, "No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't need that. I don't need that. I have my job and I'm good." I'm like, oh man, but it's something that you're entitled to,
Right.
for so
Yeah.
long. They're like, "No, they don't want it." Like, I'm fine.
Actually,
You know.
when I was in Travis, every time I would catch a hop somewhere in the Pacific, I would see this old guy named Sherman Adams. Old guy. Every time I'm at the terminal, he's always pushing the cart with all his clothes in there. And that's the time I used to smoke a cigarette. So every time I go to smoke it. He's out there. And one day I ran out of cigarettes. I was like, "Hey man, can I bum one off you?" Dude's from Kentucky, looked like Clint Eastwood, right? Old school, you know. So I was like, "Hey, you go, young buck." And I said, "Okay, appreciate it, man." So how long you here for? Because we got stuck in Hawaii, so we're waiting for the AMC flight. And you know, some of these pilots, man, you know, they they just out there shopping for a whole 2 weeks. So we got stuck in the terminal for 2 weeks. Good thing
Oh,
I knew some people in Hawaii. I was like, so the whole time I would come up there, I would see this guy. I was like, "So where do you live, man?" He's like, "Nah, I don't have a house. I live in terminals. I just hop from one. I'm a retired Air Force, but
mhm.
I just don't have a house." I was like, "Why is that?" He's like, "Man, something happened with my ex-wife, took all my money and then bounced." So I was like, "Why don't you come down to Travis with me, man? I got a house right there. I got an extra room. Come down." So he took it. We became friends. But
That's
you're
what's up.
absolutely right, Bobby. So he don't want anything to do with, you know, compensation and stuff like that, because he feels that what he did for the military is that's just all coming from the heart. That's it. He don't
Mhm.
want no compensation.
Yeah.
That's just his choice. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh,
yeah, and I respect that. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
all I could do is respect someone's decision. Yeah,
yep.
man. I've had conversations similar to that, to like the older veterans, right? Our older, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
what do you call it? Our elders, if you will,
Mhm.
right? I remember I worked with a lady at my last base. And she would always complain about, like, you could tell she would have rough days with her neck and her back and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would always tell her, "Man, why don't you go to the VA?" She was a GS-12, I think. And prideful, just super prideful, very similar. Like, nah, that's not what I signed up for, type of attitude. But I mean, I told her, I'm like, "Look, man, the word is compensation. They are
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
compensating you for that pain you're having. So like when you can't
Yep.
make it to work because of that pain, that compensation is there to be a buffer." Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
because I just hated to see her be in agony so much, man. Like I'm talking about it. It'd be days she could barely walk, and she just on that struggle train, still just thugging it out in the office, man. Would y'all say that maybe that's kind of what some of the training they gave us?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were we
They
were taught
teach
to
you.
just shut up and take it, which is why I screwed myself over all these years, which I'm telling you right now, if there's veterans listening right now, document it, even if it's not, if you don't think it's that big a deal. Have it documented. Take your butt on duty and go and get seen, even if you do it outside of your unit, because I didn't. I would have stupid stuff happen to me. I got hurt lots of times doing different rope marches, obstacle courses. I don't know if y'all do that stuff like that, but I've gotten hurt
We
many times.
did. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I had a whole buttstock hit me in my face, and we had no medical care at all. Never
Yeah.
got documented. Now I have like a clicking jaw. It sounds so gross sometimes when I chew, and I have nothing to relate that back to, and it sucks. But we were always taught to just kind of suck it up and drive on.
Yep,
You just dealt with your
yep,
pain, and
yep.
now here I am serving in the army, almost 18 years down the road, and guess what? I have nothing to prove that
Show for it.
other than a story of either me getting hit in the face with a branch or my butt stock. That was
Right.
it, which is a whole other story. We'll talk about that offline, but I'm telling you, it's legit, and I can't tell you
How
how
did it happen?
how crooked my face looked for a while, and I have nothing to prove or
Yeah,
whatever, but definitely get your stuff documented and go and get seen. If you have NCOs that are trying to encourage you to keep your mouth shut, screw them. Screw them, because it was
Okay.
bad leadership that kept me in this position right now. It took me forever to get my disability. And even now, I'm still fine with the VA on all
yeah,
sorts of
she is.
stuff.
She is.
That's
I'm
good.
just seeing that.
That's a
Um,
Mhm.
whole other story. We're not here for that. DJ Casper, we're here for
we're
you. I
gonna have
wanna
to do a
talk
whole
about
episode
you,
about VA and benefits. I mean, we're closing
Yeah.
y'all.
off with this,
Yeah.
man.
You
Take
should.
take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, man. We got a comment off of IG, and I apologize, IG. They're in late because I did it wrong. My fault.
Mm.
I'm normally used to Corey being here working YouTube, and I'm working IG, so I apologize, IG. But they popping up, so they came in kind of at the end of this conversation. For IG, just real quick, let them know we got DJ Casper online because they wasn't here for the intro. So he's an
Well,
Air Force veteran to let y'all know. But Creative Native said that not just veterans, but public in general, write that shit down and report it. Because he went through an issue with Social Security. Same thing, man. That
Mhm.
documentation, man.
yep. Training day, man. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You know what I mean?
Oh, you want to go to jail? You want to go home?
Right, yeah.
That's
That's it.
You want to get these benefits, man.
For real.
That's right.
Hey, man. So speaking of benefits, because I would say you're a benefit to a lot with the DJing, right? So talk to us about DJing, man. Like how did you get into DJing? Where did it all begin?
So high school, all my friends were turntablists, right? So these are
Ooh.
the guys that does all the heavy scientifical, technical, all kinds of stuff that you doing with a 12-inch vinyl, right?
Mhm.
I hung around with those guys, so I learned the basics, but that was just not me. I'm more like I was in there for the hype. I was in there for the women. I was in there for the
Yes.
for the club. You know what I'm saying? So high school that was me. So there's always one in the group. So you got a whole bunch of turntablists, and then there's one club guy, which is me. So I was like, at the age of 15, we was already passing out flyers in LA. So I got exposed to that. They didn't like that because they're more like the reserve people. We
Yeah,
focus
yeah.
on the crabs, the transforms, and the chirps and all of that. The club scene is more like, man, this is me. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
so I kind of left the group and then just went my own, met some people from a different area, from Long Beach to San Gabriel, and met those guys. And okay, so this is the club scene. So you got more action here.
Yeah,
Plus,
yeah, yeah.
there's more money here. You know what I'm saying? Turntablism, you got to respect those guys because they're the soldiers of this
Mm-hmm.
era. You know what I'm saying? And it came all the way back from the New York days, Africa Bombada, the Cool Hurt, all those guys, Jazzy Jeff. But with these guys, they were content being in the garage themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
No crowd. They just want to be able to show them each other. It's like, hey man, this is how you do it.
Mhm.
So with the
True to the
club
art.
DJs, yeah, to the art. So that's when I kind of like started off on that, like high school time frame in LA.
Okay. And you
Yeah.
said this earlier, and I didn't get a chance to acknowledge that. You did say LA, so I forgot you
Mhm.
from LA. You from Long Beach?
No, LA.
LA.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
What
Long
what
Beach is about 45 minutes away, but yeah, they're cousins. Yeah, they're out there.
yeah. We
Different scene.
kissing cousins.
Mhm.
So but what part of LA? Downtown? Because you mentioned downtown a couple of times.
Yeah, so downtown is where I actually stayed, but I'm originally from West Covina.
West Covina in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah,
Creative Native had to hit you up too,
West Coast.
man. Hey.
Yeah, Covina. Yeah, yeah. So, but
Yeah,
we did most of our work downtown because that's where all the money's at. So.
Yeah, man, we got Gardena, man, in LA right here on IG, man. We get a lot of love. Corey's from South Central Gardena.
Okay.
Same. So yeah, man, I forgot you a fellow Lost Angel, man.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's up. So started the DJing, started with the ones that are the true to the art, right? Hip hop, graffiti, all of that, right? Probably break dancing and all of that. I could never move like that.
Mhm.
And then so you took that with you when you joined the military.
Yeah. So I came in 99. So I initially was going through all the struggle in 98 with the check system and stuff like that, but I didn't get it the process till 99. So that's the time where everything was just, man, we were broke. I couldn't afford the turntables. I was borrowing everywhere. So what I did was I was cutting grass while I got in the military, and then I worked at the commissary. But from time to time, I would help out one of the DJs for the late nighters. So I done late nights. So I don't know if y'all remember late nighters, man. Back in the day, every E club you go to, don't matter which branch.
Yep, I remember that.
That joint is jumping. It's because enlisted club, they love to party after a whole week.
Oh yeah.
So weekend time frame, man, that's the spot to hang out with. So don't even matter. You just won't see no officers. It's all enlisted.
I was about to ask you. I was like, wait a second, you got some officers sliding up in there and stuff.
Some of them, you can't really tell because they go in there, in civilian clothes. So
they was dirty, baby.
They get to be them. You know what I mean?
we called them all nighters. By the time I came in, we would do all nighters, mug nights. When you come in, I remember we used to do mug night. You could get any size mug. You pay one fee and they just refill it with beer all night.
Yep.
Dang, man, that sounds scary.
It was scary, but you got MPs on base, so you can't really act up like that. You can go act and that's the time when we used to be able to smoke cigarettes. So it was grimy. This is the
I
version of grimy time.
remember that. You be at the E Club smoking a
Yeah,
cigarette, Black and
yeah,
Mild when we was trying to
black and white.
be cool. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hey
exactly.
man, that's for the '90s partying, man. It's the parties are different these years, man. So did you start using DJing to kind of supplement that income? For those on IG, y'all came in late. My man came into the Air Force because he was given a choice. He was doing a check scam. They said you go to jail or you go to the Air Force. And
Yeah.
so his first year, right, of his military service, they took all his pay to pay off the money that was taken in those scams. So did the DJing help kind of like supplement that income they was taking?
No, man. The thing is, that's why I had to get 3 jobs because I was going to school too. So getting paid back then was worse, like the worst ever. You know what I'm saying? So you get paid like $50, and
Ooh,
that's a lot. That's a lot of money back then.
yeah, well,
50,
yeah, back
like, yeah,
then, yeah.
yeah, $50. But then we had to split it because I wasn't in the main DJ, so I was always just
Damn
subbing
it,
in for
boy.
somebody. Yeah, so that was like my early stages and shit. So yeah, so I did understand the whole economy thing. So I had to get a second job. I had to cut grass. I had to wash cars. I had to do all kinds of hustle just to, I worked at the commissary too as a bagger. So all kinds of stuff that I did just to get by.
Damn,
Yeah.
so you were active duty, cutting grass, working at the commissary. What else? DJing, of course.
But most of the time, if I'm not doing any of that, I'm at the gym playing ball.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You look like
All
you can play some ball.
Say what now?
You look like you can play some ball.
You look like a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I try. Yeah. I go in there and get lucky every now and then.
Good. Okay, that's good.
Take us down that journey of when things started really popping with the DJing. Because so I just want to give a backstory. I actually met DJ Casper at Travis because he mentioned Travis earlier. I had came to Korea. My follow-on was Travis Air Force Base, and the crew I started hanging out with. Actually, shout out to Phil Gibbs because he's here in San Antonio now. By the way,
snap.
Yeah. Phil Gibbs is here, man. I gotta connect y'all. But just because Creative Native asked, he's here with us in San Antonio, Creative Native and IG. Hey man, he had that thing rocking, boy. He had that club rocking, man. And I remember when you left, right? And we've been friends. We're friends on Facebook, and you went to Japan, dude. The way it looked like when you were out there, I thought you were full-time DJing because, like, dude, I would see his Facebook page. I'm like, man, he out there getting it in. I thought he got out the Air Force.
Yeah. So most of the time, every base I go to, people think that. It's like, man, I thought you was a contractor. I thought you worked here. I was like, nah, man. So as soon as I take off the BDUs, that's it. I'm gonna go straight to the club.
Man, I'm talking about I was living life through his Facebook page. Like, I mean, I'm seeing all kind of stuff. I'm just like, it was he does it that big with the DJing, man. Like, talk about that journey of being an airman by day, but then you DJ Casper at night.
Yeah. So when you say airman, so at the time when I was an airman, I couldn't really do much because of my rank. So between curfews and all of that stuff, right? But once I became an NCO, that's what changed up a little bit because now
airman with the big A. Airman with the big A.
Okay, gotcha. Because in Japan, man, there's a curfew. So if he was an airman all the way to staff sergeant, oh yeah, you got to be back at a certain time.
Okay.
Once you become a senior NCO, that changed up. You can stay out there all night if you want to.
You get more freedoms.
So that's what I was doing, man. After exercises, the only time that it would really hold me back is whenever we have an exercise on base.
Exercise.
Yeah, and that's the only and that's the only time I get held back because I'll be at work working and the club is waiting. It's like, what the hell is he? They already know it's exercise.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when I left Lackland in 2005, went to Korea. So that's when it really took off. So Korea is only a year tour, right? So that right there is pretty much like the ignition for everything. Because I was already DJing a little bit here in Lackland.
Yeah.
But in 2000, so I got to Korea by 2005, 2006. That's when I jumped into like bars and then the E Club. So I would jump back and forth. And then when I left there, I went to Germany. So same thing. So Germany, I played a lot of clubs out there.
Ooh, I heard about Germany, man.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. So you got the Turks, you got the Germans, you got all these other groups out there that just love the music, American music. So they'll go for it. They'll support you any way they can. Once I left there, I went to Travis. That's when I got to Travis. Went to the E Club, and then did some things in the Bay Area, Oakland, San Francisco, Vallejo, Sacramento, all of the Bay Area stuff, right? So, and one of my biggest mentors actually throughout my DJ career was the Soul Man, Harvey Armfield. You know Harvey, man. You know
Harvey, I
him.
remember Harvey, man. Shout
Yeah,
out
yeah.
to you, man. Hey,
Yeah, so
bomb for the mentor.
yeah, he's a CE troop. So he retired first before I did. I was still a staff sergeant. He was already on his way out. That's when he told me the ins and outs of being in the 4 support squadron, and then that's the time it was phasing out. So this is about 2010. So that's when they start coming about the joint base concept, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's when services kind of left the whole E Club scene, and then just start hiring contractors to run the program. So, but they would hire logistics companies to run these things. So a lot of these logistics companies that really don't know what goes in and out when it comes to entertainment.
Yeah,
so that's when we come in. So we
Okay.
considered ourselves as subcontractors. So whether we're in the service or not, we would present them with the programs like, hey, so welcome to Travis. This is what we do. We show pay-per-view fights. We do karaoke's. We do boxing fights, UFCs. We do late nighters on the weekends. Tell me what you think. So most of the time when you Harvey would kind of run that program with the contractor, and then just go from there. So, and that's how we would just get paid.
Where would all this take place at? On base?
E Club. So the E Club, enlisted club, is pretty much the hub for entertainment on base.
Mhm.
But if most military DJs don't want to deal with that kind of work because they want to leave that whole military uniform on base. That's it. So they don't want to be seen as, oh, I don't want to DJ, because it's a frowned upon career.
Okay.
So
It
So
so
like
is.
stupid,
It
like
so
this ain't just for the Air Force, is it?
no, it's for a joint. Like I said, 2010, you having.
I've never heard of this before, which is why I'm so confused. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Nah, they have it. When I was at Fort Liberty, Fort Bragg, they huge E Club, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember they brought DJ Envy down from the Breakfast Club, man. They had like big headliners coming to Fort Bragg at the E Club.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to do stuff like that when I was at Fort Bragg. We were not allowed to do that.
No. Nah, Fort Bragg was popping.
No. Nope. I went off base once the whole time I was there.
No, that was on base.
Yeah, it's
I
on
know,
base.
but I'm telling you, we weren't allowed to. We didn't have any privileges.
Dang.
So zero privileges.
Yeah. So if you're depending on your status, some of them, because we do have Army folks coming in too and partaking that. And like I said, 2010, that was the first time the joint base came about.
Mm-hmm.
Before, I can only speak of what the Air Force does, but now with the joint base, it doesn't even matter, because an E Club is an E Club now. So for example, when you go to the E Club here, it's a joint. Since it's a joint base, anybody's running it. They just contracted it out.
Gotcha.
So that's why. So that's what they do now for entertainment. Whether they
That's
book a
cool.
off-base DJ, yeah,
that's cool, man. So then
outsource.
So then that's so Korea. What base in Korea?
Osan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Plenty of opportunities out there, man. What I learned when I was in Osan and Kunsan, if you can bring customers to the bar, because that's what it comes down to. They're all competing for customers, right? So you can rock the house, man, and bring them customers, man. You can wheel and deal, baby. So you took it from there, went to Travis, and was able to negotiate the deal as a subcontractor doing entertainment. Is that how I'm understanding it?
Yeah. Yes. But besides that, if we're not doing the E Club thing, then we'll be off base. So that's when we will travel, but we've gained enough followers in the Bay Area that people followed us. So we named ourselves Grown Folk Entertainment. So with me, Harvey,
I
DJ
remember Grown Folks Entertainment. I
Yes,
didn't know
sir.
that was y'all.
Yeah, that was us, man. So we was the first ones to, to pretty much rock the E Club, man. So yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
and
what's
then we
up,
spread
man.
out, and that's the thing about the U.S. because overseas you can't do that. So when we got here back to the States, you can kind of like, you know, get the neighboring cities. So we brought Oakland out there, San Francisco. We
Mhm.
brought some local artists. We brought them on ourselves.
Mhm.
If you was overseas, you would have to deal with USO. You had to deal with Armed Forces Entertainment. You would have to deal with,
That's right.
contracting. So there's so many red tapes. But stateside, everything's contracted. All you really got to do is present it to the logistics companies. Like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. What do you think?
Mhm.
And then they'll vet it through contracting.
Bobby, you
Okay.
ever spent any time in the Bay Area? California, Oakland, Berkeley,
I've been to San Francisco
San
twice.
Francisco, okay, San
The
Jose.
city.
Sacramento was kind of included. It's not technically the Bay, but
I
it's
had. I
Bay
mean,
adjacent.
our KCOM, our Civil Affairs Command, which we call a KCOM, was in Mountain View, California.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
when I was a younger soldier, man, I volunteered for so much stuff. They were like, "Hey, we got to have extra duty. They're doing a change of command ceremony over here. You get to go to California for 4 days." I was like, "Shit, sign me up." So
Mm.
I went twice.
Nice. I like the Bay Area, man. I was hoping when I got to Travis, when I met you,
Hmm.
DJ Casper, I had 6 years left, dog. So I'm like, yeah, let me just do my last 6 years. I'm retired. I'm close to my family back in LA. Nope.
Yeah.
They sent me to all the way to Fort Bragg. My 3 year mark. But
Last one.
man, but dude, the Bay Area is popping. So, like, what was your favorite place to DJ in the Bay Area? If you had to choose one place, what place would that be at in the Yay area?
There's a place called in Oakland. It's called Paradiso. So that's so I hooked up with an entertainment company up there. Shout out to Troy Hill, called Polo Clinic guy. So he's the one that introduced me to all the Bay connects. So that's where I met DJ Romeo. That's where I met DJ Rick Lee. I met all those big top-notch Bay Area DJs because Bay Area is one of the biggest turntablist community in the world. That's where Q-Bert's at. That's where Invisible Scratch Pickles is at. So Vallejo, Daly City, all those guys, man. I wanted to be those guys. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So
Nice.
that's Paradiso in Oakland. I always
Paradiso
want to
in
go back.
Oakland. Hey, shout
Yeah.
out to y'all, man. Drop the bomb on that one.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe you can help me with something. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if it was a movie or a show, but it was about DJs, and I feel like it was in the California area. But I feel like they were young and they were doing it like in people's houses. I want to say they were breaking in, but they were just throwing a party there just for that night. So they would have
Uh,
like on the
House party.
was it house party?
It was the new house party, not the old house party. The new house party
Oh, I
when they
haven't
broke
seen the
into
new one.
they broke into LeBron James' house. So that's
I'm about to go watch that. I'm
yeah,
behind.
you got to watch it, man. You got to watch it.
that.
It
But
was dope.
it was all about the art of just like you were saying, the art of
Yeah.
DJ. It's not like you just grab a turntable and try to
Oh,
go
so
to it.
that might have been called. So there's a movie called Scratch. So Scratch is for
Mm.
those guys. So if you're
Okay.
talking about just partying and stuff like that, that's house party. But
No,
if
no,
for
this was
turntablism,
about the art of actually DJing
okay,
and stuff,
yeah.
and so
So
it might
check
feel
out
like
Scratch.
it
Check
switched
out
between a
Scrap.
couple of different
Okay.
stories. That
Yeah,
sound about right? I don't know. But
yeah. So
it was really good.
I'm gonna have to check that out. I slept on that. That's on me, and I slept on the new house party. So I'm gonna have to go back
yeah,
and catch up on both of those. My most memorable movie that had the DJing in it was Juice, baby. Hey, you got
yep,
the now.
yep. The New York side of it. Yeah. So
You know,
yep.
I've never
Omar
seen
Epps.
the West Coast version of that. I'm gonna have to go watch that.
Hmm.
Ah,
And the juice is pretty much like it's just a struggle for every DJ, man. You know, you know a DJ, guess what? Hey, can I get in for free? He gonna do all this stuff, you know what I mean? So can I
yeah,
get the hookup? You know what I mean? That's what juice is.
yeah.
You got that crazy friend that's threatening you all the time. It's like, hey man, what's up?
You know what? I think what are the calls? What are the kids call that now? They call that the Riz, right? It
Yeah.
ain't. Yeah, I'm gonna Riz
Mhm.
you up. I still don't fully understand that, but I think that's their version of you got the juice now.
Yeah, exactly. Got
You
that
got
Riz, man.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the struggles you come across, man, being a DJ?
Man, which category? Because so they all
choice.
so, so man, the struggles, man. So for active duty, I already mentioned a few of them. Being an active duty is really frowned upon, especially if you have a rank. If you're a younger NCO, then it really don't matter because they just think you're doing it for fun. But once you become a senior NCO, it's frowned upon because now you fall under the whole stratification mindset
Mhm.
that you have to be a whole person concept. Now they're gonna look at you as an ambassador. Now you're looking at your troops looking at you like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So I was able to balance that because I kicked ass at the job. I was personable. Um, and then I was still out there to blend in, not causing any scene because you don't want to cause no stress when it comes to stuff like
Nah,
this. You know what I'm
nah.
saying? That's the concept of business, man. Two ways you can make money.
Mhm.
You got to do the service and get the stress off you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
a
Did you
lot of,
ever have any people try to, like, pull rank on you? That'd be the only thing that I'd be concerned about, like, "Oh, we can't have a good time because you outrank me, and so now you over here trying to be all big and badass, and so now we can't
yes,
enjoy
all the
ourselves."
time. So what I do is my comeback to that is like this. I get really uh chill when it comes to those guys because I know how it is. I know being a senior NCO. So they was like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
so you guys are being out here. So for example, we was in Travis, we did the Air Force Ball, and they saw us wearing a suit. It's like, why y'all got to be different? It's like, oh, so right now, instead of me answering that question like a young person,
Mhm.
I had to like be like, hey, so I understand, man. So we got this contract right now. We're just trying to help out with the process. That's all. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
You
smooth,
know, you know what I'm saying? So
smooth.
that way they kind of leave us alone. So I had to, those guys that I was mentoring at the time, I had to tell them how to respond to certain things because really this is a frowned upon career. So you have to be able to answer with a quickness, professional, no
Hmm.
emotion, and
Hmm.
then just be like level with a person. It's like no disrespect.
Yeah.
So, and you don't even have to use the word respect. Just like, oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, they got us wearing this thing, man. Don't worry about it. So I got the contract signed though. So if anybody has a question, we're subcontractors for
I
today.
like that.
That's
Yeah.
pretty smooth because 'cause I'd be ready to fight. I'm like, "Let's talk."
Hey,
I'm like,
you're like my
"You got
friend
this
Glenn.
NCO over here popping off their mouth. We're about to pull off some rank." Like, that's just how we do it. Like, we still do that. If we have words with each other, you
Yeah,
hear, you I'm like, "Oh shit, they just ripped off their rank. Okay, it's just gonna
yeah.
get real. We're just gonna have it out just like civilians in
Yeah,
uniform."
yeah.
But
Hey,
we don't act right sometimes, okay?
No, it ain't just you. It's just there's people out there that really cares their heart and their sleeves, man. So it's
Oh,
nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that to me, every, to me, everything could be worked out, really. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
So we can kind of talk it out. If you're having a bad day, I totally understand. I'd give you your space. But whenever you're ready to talk, man, come see me. We'll explain to you everything. So
That's what's up, man. Like you made me want to just work it out, man. I got a few things. I'll holler at you offline.
yeah, yeah. And you
I
know what really what got me in this mindset, man? So believe it or not, when I'm in the car on the way to work, I don't listen to music. I listen to ET, man.
okay. I mean, I respect ET. I love ET. For those who
Yeah.
don't, explain who ET is for those that don't know.
So he has a success podcast, right? So
Hmm.
basically, he was homeless. He's from Detroit. He, came from the bottom. Now he worked on his GED, bachelor's, master's, PhD, and now he's a billionaire. Only because he was able to understand how people think.
Hmm.
Less emo. So main thing I learned from him is facts over principles. So
Mm.
instead of you getting emotional on what you want to do, what you want to say, how
Mhm.
you want to portray, let's gather the facts first. Sit down and like, hey, look. So I understand that you want to DJ here at the spot, but this is a Latino-based crowd. What do you feel about that? Instead of oh man, you're not Latino. You can't DJ here. So that's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
emotional. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So the
yeah. Good point.
so
Yeah.
so the way you want to bring it, it's like, okay, so Latino based. Oh, okay, what kind? So let's see if there's a Havana here, Mexicans, Cubans. Let's break down on what they want. What's the genre here? Because Latino is a big community, but you break
Yeah, it
down
is.
just like my crates. I have at least 20 folders under that. I have Tejano, slow Spanish, salsa, rock español,
Say less.
regional,
Say
uh,
less.
perreo, Mexico pop, mambo, merengue, mariachi,
Ooh,
Latin pop, cumbia, dembow, boricua, classics, bachata. You know,
Hey,
it's so many. So you got to be specific, and
yeah,
that's one thing I
yeah,
learned about ETs. Like you can't be emotional about things, man, because there's different things that you don't even know about.
yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
you just gotta respect it. So main thing is just gotta know, man. And what do you say? John C. Maxwell. There's only two reasons why people don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't know how, they don't want to. You're gonna have to want to know how. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? In order for you to understand, so nothing comes back to you tenfold.
yeah.
So I've been using that a lot.
That's what's up. And you know what? You're getting a lot of responses that agree with that. Creative Native said, answer professionally, not with your pride. Danny, what's up? Shout out to Danny. She was on recently. She said she loved that response. And then our regular guest that we have, Dr. Poole, said, what about that reggaeton?
Oh yeah, you got no choice. So funny thing about that, man. So I learned reggaeton here. So when I 2004 when I was DJing here, I have a friend from Panama, Panameño, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's the first one to introduce me to reggaeton because you know Panameño started reggaeton, not the Boricuas, right?
I did not know that. You're teaching me
Yeah,
something here.
yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
Panameño started it,
got to piss
but
off some
Hey, I don't know
Puerto
some
but
Ricans,
Boricuas like
man.
you mad
oh
out
no
there.
no 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 they know trust me they
Okay.
know trust me they know Panameño started it. However, the Boricuas revolutionized that, bro.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You see how I brought that back? You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I
You know what I'm
like
saying?
it.
Because you know, like yeah, that's they know who they are. So they the first
Okay.
one that came up about the early 2000s. But then you know when you got all these dembow coming out to New York, then Fat Joe introduced them to a whole bunch of stuff. So it's crazy, and that's when you hear Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee is what 56.
That's
Girl,
You know what I'm
like
saying?
yeah.
Still going.
He's
half my
still,
playlist, half of my dance playlist is Daddy.
Yeah,
Look,
and
yeah.
he's
Esther
still
on
going
the last,
strong.
look,
Yeah,
Esther
man.
last year
Yeah,
came out to my birthday party, man. I just did not hold back.
yeah. Tego
Look,
Calderon, man. You got like that Tego Calderon. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying?
So let me tell you this. That just speaks to his how big of an aperture he has, right? He respects the craft so much, man. This dude is like a chameleon. When I got here and I saw that he was here, and before I had the baby, I would make it out to some of his events. And he used to DJ at this wine cellar. He was
Hmm.
like, come through, it's reggaeton, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, bet.
Man, invite me. I
The
think
last time I remember him DJing, it was all hip hop, R&B, that type of
Hmm.
stuff, right? I didn't know this dude could make that transition like that. I'm talking he had the crowd rocking like all Latin music, salsa,
Right.
merengue. He was killing it, and like you know what DJ is good when he plays the track and the whole club is just singing it, just rocking with it, like hey. And so
If it was basketball, that would be the oohs and ahs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah.
get the hot sauce going on them. You know what I
Hey
mean?
man, he
And
put
nothing
that
wrong with
hot
it.
sauce on it, man. He had the Cholula on that thing, boy. Let me tell you.
So when I got back to San Antonio 2018, I promised myself, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from the hip hop and R&B because that's all I've done. So I wanted to try something here that's um, more to the Latin crowd because San Antonio is pretty much predominantly Hispanic. So what I did was I started looking for places where it's just away from the regular crowd that I'm used to, hip
Mhm.
hop and R&B. So one of my troops, when I was in special warfare, told me, "Hey, there's a new speakeasy in town." Actually, it might have been the first speakeasy in San Antonio, because San Antonio wasn't really speakeasy back then in 2018. Now
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
speakeasies everywhere, right?
everywhere.
So
Yeah.
it's a city now. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause back then it was a prairie, but now it's like it's when you go to Cellar Mixology now, it's built. But when I first got there, man, it was like, man, we had probably 10 customers a weekend.
at where?
A Cellar Mixology downtown. So that was a speakeasy that G is talking about.
That he
But
was DJing at, yeah.
yeah, so when I first got back to San Antonio in 2018, that's when I just started hit the board running. I got here to August 2018. I got the gig at the last week of August.
Okay.
So that's when I knew there was a need for music down here. So I talked to the owners like, hey, you guys want some beats? They're like, yeah, we'll try you out for Thursdays. They liked it. So now I'm there Friday, and then
Mhm.
they liked it again. I'm there Saturday.
Hey.
6 years later, the line was all the way to 1902.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I built that blueprint to where I can create my own sound. It's different from everybody because when you go to every bars down here, it's the basic radio, reggaeton, all that stuff that was happening. But with Cellar Mixology, we made it to where we can entertain the Valley folks, the people from
Oh,
Mexico,
talk that talk.
the stuff that you don't really play. So we mix it up with. Well, I came up with the idea because I like so with DJs we're automatically people pleasers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you pay attention to the crowds, like okay, man, he's not from San Antonio, so you pay attention, right? So let me hit him with this. If he vibes, okay, dude's Puerto
Mhm.
Rican. All right, let me do the
Hey.
bachata down there. You know what I'm saying? So I see my little light skin, man. He look white. He's Mexican. Put some, you know, you already know. Put some
Yeah.
Mana on there. So
Yeah.
he got it. So yeah. So that's exactly how I've been reading those guys, and then I was able to flip it to when I see young people come in. That's when I hear when that I get on the new joints.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Mm.
So that's pretty much my jump off time, like 12:30 to 1.
Hey, I'm telling that thing was rocking too. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the events you got going on now.
Okay.
You got a couple of major events that you're like a staple in, man. Talk about that. We know about one of them, actually. You know what? Because we had Quincy Harper here. Let's open up with Stogies and
Shout out
Kicks.
to Q.
Yeah.
Shout-
Shout out to Q out there, man.
Yeah.
So talk about it. We got his perspective. Share your perspective on how Stogies and Kicks got started.
Really, man. So with Quincy, me and him went to our garage and just started smoking a cigar. And he told me he just came from Vegas and he saw this concept. He said, "Let's do it." So I was like, "All right, you know me for 22 years, so you got me." So what we did was we just kind of did our own. Our first one was at Smoke Redland. Um, at the time, it was all the way down, damn near Stone Oak. So when we did that, I have an idea because I've done so many. When I see a crowd, I pay attention to what they look like, on how old they look. And if they're younger, that's when I'll determine, okay, what type of music I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
So the first one, because Q, he just kind of let me do my things. I'm like, okay. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to that, he empowers me. So that's a good leader right there. So
Oh,
when
man.
he did that to me, I was like, okay, I got this. I paid attention. A lot of cats with gray hair out here. Okay, I got you. And I noticed most of them I know, that's the thing that I was like, man, it's like I feel like I'm back overseas again. So now you get to network. It's like, hey man, you was in Iraq. That was it. So every time I would have a connection with somebody. I used to play basketball with them. We was in the base team together.
Yeah.
We used to, you know what I'm saying? So that's because San Antonio is pretty much your melting pot for retirees.
Yeah.
So that's what became the Stogies and Kicks.
And the
You
DOT
got
community is small.
yeah.
People don't know it's small. You'll run into people in random places. No lie. Last time I knew, I ran into a guy that I served with at Fort Hood, and he was on a Panda Express on the south side of San Antonio. I was like,
Yeah.
my brother. What? He goes, oh my God, Sergeant Lopez. I'm like, where did
Hey.
you come from?
Yeah.
Wild, tiny community.
Hey, shout out
Yeah.
to those military friendships, man. Hey,
Yes,
man. They last forever, man. They last
Yes.
forever.
good
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. So you got that started with him, and then you got Neo Soul Night, San Antonio. What's that about?
So Neo Soul, my first Neo Soul event was in Germany. Actually, I was 2005,
Okay.
2006 time frame. I was there with MC Izzy. She's Army.
Mhm.
So if you know Germany, man, Germany is really Army and Air Force.
Okay.
Like it's rarely we see Navy and Marines out there, but on the Yukon, you'll see a few of them. So we did a couple of bars that we did, but me and Izzy sat down. It's like, look, man, we got to do something different because everybody's playing reggaeton, hip hop, all that stuff. So she really liked the whole neo soul vibe, and I really liked the newness of neo soul at the time because
Mm-hmm.
neo soul was so new that it became the it factor. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even matter if you had the new hip hop, man, neo soul. People got dressed up, the women were looking good. The
Uh,
dudes got the cufflinks on.
yeah, yeah,
It was that tight, but they're young. You know what I'm saying? At the time, they were the young guys. So Music Soul Child was the, Erica Badu, India Ari, all those guys that came
yeah,
about. It's like,
yeah.
you know what? This is dope. So we packed up the place our first time in Germany.
Nice.
So that became like my thing because it's like, man, this is cool. And no fights. You ain't got to worry about people stepping on your shoes.
Good
You know what I'm
point.
saying? So this is more like my vibe. So I don't need no. I ain't been getting crunked out here. If I want to go crank, I can go to Black Sounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Black Sounds is a club in Longstool, and it's number
Okay.
of fights out there, man. So between Turks and Germans and Americans, yeah, it was bad. So when we came up with this, it became a thing.
Hmm.
So it's a smaller community compared to the hip hop crowd, but I brought it down here in San Antonio because my man DJ Millie. So I'm already doing the Stogies and Kicks. DJ J Millie did the Rhythm of Beats. It's the biggest one in San Antonio. So DJ Millie, another retired vet.
Shout out to DJ Millie. Hey.
Yeah, yeah. So he's pretty much revolutionized this whole day party type stuff.
Yeah,
So
he's killing it, Bobby.
yeah.
If you're looking for something to do, yeah, I haven't had a chance to get out there. So we were talking military friendships, right? So
Mhm.
my last tour in Korea, DJ J Millie used to DJ for me, man. He DJ'd a couple of major events that I had, man. I had 2 album release parties. He DJ'd both of them. And then he actually DJ'd the album release party I had in Seoul. So shout out to DJ J Millie, man. I'm still gonna get out there eventually, man.
Yeah.
Maybe get there eventually, man. But shout out to you, much love to you, brother. That's what's up, though, man.
I got,
You
I got
talking?
a question. So,
Yeah.
do you have a website where you have like scheduled times and places where you actually DJ at? So if somebody
So
wants to come by and see you.
I used to when I first started out, but now I'm just using like events now because I kind of gave up all my residencies.
Oh,
Yeah, so all of that residency, I just leave to the young folks, man. The young DJs that had a lot younger than me,
Yeah.
they got the time and stay late. So me and DJ J Millie and shout out to DJ Ken Uncle Dope. He's actually a chief right now, so he's still active. So I met him through I met DJ Millie through Ken. He
Okay.
actually formed the GI DJs. So it didn't matter if he was Army, Air Force.
DJs.
Yep, GI
Like,
DJs. Yep, GI and DJs. So all over the world, we start, creating all that connection. So everywhere you go, as soon as I got there, guess what? Hey, I need a plug in Florida. I'm going over there. I need a DJ. Boom.
that's what's up. So, okay, talking a little entrepreneurship and business. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Are like some of your target audiences for that service is like maybe the enlisted clubs around the world, maybe?
Yeah, anything that has to do with being a military, GI, and being a DJ. So GI DJs will connect you to all these platforms.
That's what's up. So if you're looking for a DJ, check out. Is it GI DJs? Is that a website, Instagram page? What's
Yeah,
the
same thing. Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, we started this out back in
I'm gonna go look it up and
2000.
follow. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
you
yeah?
should. Yep, he's actually going to be. We're bringing. So his cousin is comedian Ron G. If y'all check out comedian Ron G. So we're bringing
Okay.
him down to San Antonio. That's his cousin. So he's the one. I'm the one that's going to be bringing him down to Triple Double, which is the same another vet owned bar at Universal City. Shout out to DJ Magic. He owns that spot, and
Okay.
yeah, that's where we
We're
do
not
the
even far from
DJ
there.
battle.
That's not far from
Yep.
us. Yeah.
That's
Down
right
the street.
down the road.
So if you live down there, man, come down Wednesday. We're gonna have a DJ battle out there. So every Wednesday we have a DJ battle. So check it out.
So Danny is a fellow vet out in Brooklyn. She says she's gonna look them up too. So GI DJs, and make sure I get the link for that so I can put it in the description below. By the way,
Okay.
if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, man, and click that like button. And all the information you need will be in that description below. So stay tuned. But all right, so I mean, we were talking about the friendships, DJing, all that stuff, entrepreneurship. So one thing you wanted to talk about was like the power of networking, because You've leveraged that throughout your military career, your DJ career. Talk about how to network for success. How do you do that, sir?
So the way I treat these guys with communication, I want to be treated the way you want to be treated. So it's just simple as like me and DJ Ken, right? I don't know this guy for a grain of salt. When I got to Japan and I got a gig, this is the time when we used to use Scratch Live. I didn't know what to do because I had my records, but it's like I couldn't play it because back then you had to have a box that connects your Scratch Live to your interface, right? So Ken helped me out. It's like, hey man, come over, because he was in the same squadron. He's like, I got you. So I was able to rock that party because of him, and that's how we met. You know what I'm saying? So it's just from there it became a barter system. I scratched my back, you scratch yours. It became bigger and bigger then. And he was a traveler too, so he got all the gigs overseas. So he was a Mason. So he introduced me to all these guys, and next thing you know, I'm out there. I'm doing step shows. I'm doing all these.
Hey, that's what's up.
I'm doing Harlem Renaissance. I introduced me to the Qs. It's crazy, man. And especially if they know you good people, man. I think overall you just have to be. You got to be approachable, man. You got to have a poise. You got to be dependable.
Yeah.
And and the thing is, you have to know when you're servicing people. You got to know the people. You got to know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you network. And you don't have to have business cards, really. You are the business cards. You talk to people. It's like, hey, I like your style, man. So how you know all this stuff? I was like, man, I just been around the world and rub elbows with folks and feeling good from there. That's it. That's what I call organic structure, man. So we just shook hands from there, and the next thing you know, it became a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's really simple. Same thing with the down here.
So when you're in the business of networking, are you looking to connect with a certain type of person? Are you looking for certain personality or characteristics with those individuals? Just like
not necessarily. Yeah, no, not necessarily. Normally, when they connect with me, I want to see what they want first, because most of the time they don't know what they want.
Okay.
They just want to connect with you. You know what I'm saying? Half of the time it's like, hey, I got to get you at my party. I was like, okay. I just agree, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know. You don't never know what they want. Because, first of all, there's a lot of, breaking points and limiting factors when it comes to doing an event, cost, people, location, all of that stuff. So I was like, well, tell me what you want. What's your budget? What do you want? You know what I'm saying? But they don't know is the struggle on trying to break this down and trying to make it happen. And then if they have people that's against it, it's just like planning an Air Force ball. You know what I'm saying? Planning an Armed Forces ball. A lot of that stuff has committees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How do you make that work? But you got to come up with a drawing board and tell you exactly, hey, this is what we want. Who we're gonna have? We're gonna have the candidates right here. You got DJ. You got equipment. You got the venue that's so big. Is that DJ gonna be able to provide this many speakers for this, so you can have acoustic sound? You got to have all of that. People are not ready to have that kind of conversation because, one, it requires work, and two, it costs money. So it depends on how they want it. So, but you don't also want to sound negative. If they ask you, hey, let's network, I was like, okay, let's network. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that because you leave it open.
Yeah.
To see if they're gonna meet you halfway.
Yeah. You don't want to say, man, you ain't ready, man. You ain't ready. You don't want this. So you don't want to be negative like that.
Nah.
They might get an investor. Maybe they find a venue that's suitable for everybody.
Good point. That's what's up, man. Be approachable.
That's it.
Get to know them. Figure out what they want. What else?
You got to take away the stress from them.
Ooh.
You got to take away stress from them, man, because the stress is already there. It's already crazy world we live in, man. Just be part of the solution. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Just be part of the solution.
I think, you know what? I'm internalizing that. I could probably work on my networking skills. I like that, man. I'll drop a bomb on that one. That's what's up. So, all right, this is a veteran focused, episode tonight. So to end this episode off, there is something going on that does affect, active duty military. I think all of us doing our journeys, we've seen derivatives of this. One policy was here, and then it was gone, and it was here, and it was so. Right now, what's going on? There's essentially been a trans ban in military. And that came through from the prioritizing military excellence and readiness executive action that came out from the White House. Just want to get thoughts, man. I'm starting with the guests. What's your thoughts on that? So essentially, you cannot be openly trans in the military anymore. You can't get in. And the way it reads is, if you want to be open with it, if you're in, you got to get out. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, you're gonna be disappointed with this response because I'm the type of guy, man. Whatever the current event is, it's all just a current event for the media. I'm gonna wait till because I'm in the very bottom of the totem pole.
Mm-hmm.
So what my opinion doesn't really matter. I'm sorry, but that's I've always been like that. You know what I'm saying? Even in whatever's going on, I was like, we'll wait till it reaches my plate. You know what I'm saying? Until then, I'll press on just like everybody else.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. So Bobby, let's get you to speak on it, because actually I'm gonna stick a pin in it because I got something I want to revisit in that conversation. But Bobby, just to let people know, when she start doing this, it's normally followed with a let's talk about it, because we about to talk about it.
So I'm very open about my my conservatism, I guess. I have nothing against anybody. I have nothing against grown people wanting to do what they find themselves doing happy. And if that means there's grown folks that feel like they were born in a wrong body, you can do that because you're grown. The only time I feel like it hits my plate, like you said, when it actually begins to affect me. So in the service, it does. I don't know what they call them in the Air Force, but I'm a UPL, Unit Prevention Leader.
Okay.
When policies came through saying, and you have to understand, it is primarily men. You have a few women, but it is primarily men that are pushing for them to be women. That's just what it is. Statistically, it is definitely men. And because it came to my plate, they said, okay, now the people who do the unit prevention lady, we do all the urinalysis testing and stuff for the soldiers. We have a transgender soldier coming through, claims he's a female, and so now I have to watch him pull out his junk and pee, because with the females we have to watch the specimen leave the body. That's what we're taught to do. So with the males, they were saying you have to treat them just like you do the females. So now you have to sit here and watch him pull out his stuff. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable, especially in small spaces. Like, this is not going to work for me. And so you brought it to my front door. I didn't have an issue until they said that they didn't need any medical waivers. They didn't have to, other than to tell a doctor that this is the way that I'm feeling. And because of this, now you get to change your gender marker. And now you get to fall under the guidelines of being in women's spaces, which our spaces are already small to begin with. And it being in our changing rooms and our shower areas and stuff, those were things that I was not comfortable with. I'm like, hang on a second. You can do what you do, but when you bring it into the service and it begins to affect the rest of us, like, what about us? What about our comfortability too? Where are we going to draw the line?
Yeah.
You know?
I have no
I don't got
idea
nothing against anybody. I just want to know where we're going to draw the line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is a line was drawn. Because for folks that are not in the military, never serve, let me back it up a little bit. So when people have to do random drug tests, urinalysis tests, their peers have to go be the ones to monitor them to make sure they're doing it right. I'm about to get a little graphic here, but I went to that training and they legitly tell you have to see the liquid leave the body. You have to see the liquid
specimen go into the cup that's going to the Navy lab. It is what it is. You understand what it is. Saying you watch that person pee. And what I mean, you got to be all up in the junk. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Anytime now, buddy. Don't be shy.
You're gonna go back, drink some more water or something.
Yeah, drink some water. So just so people understand the situation you were in. definitely not something you really want to volunteer for. But I'm glad you walked that out, because I didn't know that. I've been out, it's about to hit 6 years. So that wasn't even an issue, when I was
Right.
in.
So because of that, I no longer volunteered as the NCO in charge of that. I was like out, and it sucked because they were like, "Hey, Sergeant Lopez, you think you can go? Don't talk to me about no UPL class. I'm not doing it.
Mm.
I'm not doing it."
Actually, I detailed one time a urinalysis. I forgot what year it was. So yeah, at the time we didn't have that issue, so it was easy. I'm
It
just
was easy.
seeing dudes. That's all for me. It's dudes.
Yeah.
So not thinking about it now. If it's in reverse,
And you got to sit there and sit.
and I- and and I- and I- and I'm the and I'm the and I'm the observer. I'm just doing this then. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, Bob.
I
Yeah,
get,
understand
because
what
I
you're saying.
wouldn't even feel comfortable if
Yeah.
he was on the opposite foot. You telling me I gotta watch
Yeah.
females, like, because I get uncomfortable in those situations, because he said,
Right.
she said, somebody could be like, oh, nah, no.
And that's what I'm saying. There's boundaries being crossed where I'm like, okay, people are going to get hurt. I would hate to see a female that thinks she's going to be a dude and go and try to do stuff like the dudes. I'm sorry, you putting yourself in a position to be hurt, and I don't want
Yeah.
to see that.
Right.
I don't want to see that for
Yeah.
anybody. I don't think any of us do. Nobody wants
Nah,
that.
not at all. Not at all. We got a comment from Danny. She says she never thought about that aspect. I did work alongside transgender persons, and they handled the mission. I've never had an issue. Dr. Poole said creepy. That is creepy. There has to be a line drawn at some point,
Yeah.
because I don't really have a dog in that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of like Casper, like, hey, do you know what I mean? But like you said, because on one side of me, I'm like, hey, man, as some would say, you could come catch these bullets just like me. You know what I mean? Like, you want to volunteer, just like I did, have at it. But on the other side of that coin, when those type of situations start happening, we ain't got time for that, man. Because there's no way to focus on the mission if you're making people uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, I need everybody on the team to be able to focus on the mission so we can get out this thing alive, man.
So there's also something I want to focus on. I'm glad you mentioned the mission, because one thing that maybe civilians don't know too, when you're in the military, as far as I'm understanding what the policies were for our transgender service members, was that if you were taking special type of hormone replacements and stuff, you were ineligible to be deployed. And when you put yourself in a situation when you're ineligible for deployment, that means you're not combat ready and you weren't able to meet the full mission status, so you weren't able to be deployed. And because of that, because of those special treatments for people having to leave and to go and you can't do that stuff downrange, is what I was understanding. And so people weren't able to be deployed.
Yeah, and
I'm articulating that well enough.
I think you are. That makes sense, because then if you get ruled out and you're not eligible to deploy, that means someone else in the team may have to pick up your slack and be deployed more often. Right. I don't like that, because what if I'm that person that has to pick up the slack? That means I got to be away from my family more often.
Well, I don't know about that, because that might be a good reason. However, so you ever heard of a tit fit, right? Time phase and all of that. A tit fit.
Yeah.
So same thing. So a lot of these guys get put on DAV codes because of either pregnancy, broken ankles, or something so you got a waiver for that kind of stuff. So for 6 months, or they can't go, whether it's surgery, stuff like that. So yeah, they're not combat ready, but they'll be combat ready eventually. So what are they saying with these guys? Are they not combat? Are they going to be on waiver for the rest of their career, or how does that work?
As long as you're taking those special hormones.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it requires special treatment,
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Nah, yeah. I mean, and then also too, you got to consider tax dollars. So I mean, if tax dollars are being spent for people to be combat ready, and they not combat ready because of something that may not be a necessity, you know what I mean? I can see that. I think for me, simple and plain, we know what it is now, because before it was very confusing. I was kind of afraid. I don't know. I can't assume you a man or a woman because you might not identify, and I'm gonna get canceled. And we got a podcast to grow, man. I can't get canceled. So I think it's very easy now. You either one or the other, because we had conversations, Bobby, right? And without having to take that long journey back, my whole thing was, what does the policy say? Because at that point in time, it was still pretty vague and broad, right? But now it's very simple. You either a man or you either a woman. Simple, simple. If there's certain areas designated for man, well, by law, you can only identify as one as such. So it makes it very easy to know where you're supposed to be. And if it's not within that, you probably on some funny stuff. You know what I mean? Just the way the policy is written. That's why I love policy, man. I put the governance hat on. There's no black and white there. There was a lot of black and white there. I would like to be, able to trust people, but unfortunately, our society is not like that. We've been to countries where there's co-ed bathrooms, right? So it's not an issue. No one thinks nothing of it because in those societies, maybe, they're more trustworthy, more honorable. I don't know. Unfortunately, here in the US of A, we are not. So
Yeah, so I don't just come from like a conservative viewpoint. I come from being a mom. I have 5 girls. 5.
Mhm.
5 girls that depend on me to help them make good decisions and stuff. And so when I have to talk to my little girls about, hey, if something were to ever happen and you see somebody that doesn't look like a lady or something, the rest of my girls aren't dumb. Kids aren't dumb. People try to pull the wool over their eyes. You just don't. But I do think that we're in a society where, because of the mental health issues, the crisis I feel like we're having in the country with the mental health, is that there are going to be people who are going to take advantage of this transgender ideology and randomly put on a dress and some heels and walk to a female's restroom. And
unfortunately,
the media is not going to want to talk about it. You know what I mean? The media is not going to want to talk about it because that goes against what they've been trying to say this entire time. Like, they don't want to put these stories out there and let you know, oh, hey, today a kid got hurt, or that somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to. Somebody's going to take advantage of. There's dark people out there that are going to be, and when I say that, I clearly mean on the inside. There's people who have dark ideas about hurting little children, and that's their, that's their door. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that we should.
And the good thing is now we know. You know what I mean? When we had, a similar conversation previously, it was okay. Well, what about this level of policy and this level of policy and this level of policy? Now we know. I think it makes it simple. We got a couple of more comments on the IG. From earlier on, Dr. Poole was asking, do the hormones and transgender medicines affect performance in the field? I am not a specialist at all, so I don't know. I have no idea. What's that, Bobby?
I don't know.
I don't know. And then Danny says she wasn't aware because her career was not heavy deployment in the field. And then she also said also transgender persons that she worked with military and civilian. And then she said we can't be canceled. That's what's up. Hey, drop a bomb on that. TS, baby.
Right.
And then she said to the co-ed bathroom thing that we said earlier, she said there's tons of co-ed bathrooms in New York City. So I guess it's just wherever you at, right? When in Rome. But at least we know what the overarching policy is, and then it just goes down from there. So I think it just makes life easier for me, man. So I think that is what it is. So moving forward though, we know here in San Antonio, at least, I think if you go to a DJ Casper party, you either using one or the other. So bringing it back to the parties, man, and wrapping this thing up, man. What events do you have coming up out here in San Antonio or across the world, man? Because you international, baby.
Not no more, man. I'm stateside now. So yeah, so now that I'm back in the States, this Friday, if y'all got time, Neo Soul Night will be at the Smoke Sky Bar.
Oh, okay.
There's
a lot of big names that come out to that Sky Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's a big place. It's they got pretty good barbecue, brisket, sausage, chicken, all that. Yeah. And the drinks are
downtown, right?
Yep, downtown.
I know.
Houston Street.
Yep. That's right there by our work.
Yep. And also Sunday will be the Super Bowl. So Stogies and Kicks will be at the Cigars International.
Oh, nice. You can go to Stogies and Kicks, get you a cigar, good drink, and watch the game. Cigars International, huh?
Yeah, we got food vendors out there. We're gonna have barbecue.
Oh,
And,
it's going down.
yep.
Are
It's
you
going
are you a football watcher?
I am, but my team sucks, man. So it's not good. That's why
My
I stick. That's why I say stick to basketball.
Uh,
But I'm a Raider fan, so we got Pete Carroll now, so we good.
Raiders.
Raider Nation.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Hey, man, tell the folks how to get in contact with you, man. If they want to connect with you, if they're local, or maybe they want to connect with you to find the right GIDJs page, because I was getting feedback that there's a few different ones.
Yeah, so GIDJs, that's Uncle Dope, Rhythm and Beats, that's DJ J Millie, Stokers and Kicks, that's Quincy Harper, and your boy DJ Casper Victoria for Neo Soul Night, DEEJAY Casper Victoria.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. And we'll make sure we have all those links in the description below when we do the repost. Bobby, tell them how to get in contact with you, ma'am, and let them know what services they could get from you out here in the San Antonio area.
All right, I'm Bobby Lopez. I'm the owner of Patriot Restorations LLC. We are a disabled veteran-owned small business here in the San Antonio area. We service Bexar County, Wilson County, Medina, Atascosa, and parts of Karnes County. We'll be here to help you out with all your water mitigation needs. If you end up having a broken pipe somewhere in your house, a water heater decides to go out on you, let you know that you have somebody here that's going to be able to help you take care of that water damage and get you taken care of, all dried up and whatnot. You can find me on Facebook, Bobby Lopez, or on IG, bobby.lopez.5.
Yes, ma'am. And then I'm Geronimo, and you can find me on IG at tech_Von_go. Short-term rental is coming soon. It's almost ready. We getting close. And then I'm also working on acquiring a few properties. So land plot. So if you're someone looking to get a piece of land to build that dream house you've been thinking about, I'm gonna have it for you coming up soon. So stay on the lookout. DJ Casper, thank you, man. This was wonderful, man. Great conversation. Thank you for joining us,
man. Thank
yeah,
y'all.
man. That was a good story, man. So other than that, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, thanks for spending this time with us, man. If your team made it to the Super Bowl, good luck, and we'll see y'all next week.
Kansas City. Go Chiefs.